Ba-doomba doomba. Platinum players too strong. The hell, jeez. Well, in the bottom left of the map here on Yonsu is our victor of the first game, the Protoss player in the pink, Leon Seed. In the top right of the map, sporting the green colors and the Zerg pieces, it is Ottr. So guys, I mean, the thing here is that this is actually pretty cool. I think, if I remember right, the first show match I think was taken by Ottr, who was playing a little bit more than Leand at the time. I can't exactly remember. If any of you do, feel free to point it out in chat. But oh yeah, I imagine you're getting six pooled constantly. Yeah, the Fun Day Monday for this upcoming week is six pool, whether it's a team or in a normal game, and the six pool turns into an epic game. Obviously, I mean, I don't think you want to bother sending that in if you six pool somebody and win immediately, unless they just get like flipping tables mad. If they get completely insanely upset at you, and it was like really funny, that would probably be okay. That would really be like an amazing intro game. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's something that we're gonna have to worry about for a bit here. We'll have to just wait. Also, thanks to a recent patch, the follow function has now been fixed, so I can click on things like this, move my camera up here, click on this guy, hit Control F, and just watch the Overlord move. It's fantastic. Really good stuff. By the way, if you want to do that in a normal game when you're observing, anytime it's actually Control Shift F, I rebound it to Control F because I'm lazy. But let's see here. Yeah, dude. I mean, sending in a game where the other person six pools, I feel like is also legit. Especially if you want to try and get the fail game submission. So you can totally get the other guy the fail game submission. I mean, I think that's legit. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, okay. So, things so far are turning out to be pretty similar as before. Leanne's actually gateway expanding this time, or going for something very, very crazy, as she's actually setting up her buildings inside her main base, close to the Nexus here. This is usually a good setup for protecting the buildings with the Nexus cannon. It's a little bit risky, though, because this setup is actually not going to be so great at dealing with a six pool, but the thing is, at this point, that would have already happened, so I think she can be fairly certain that even though Leanne isn't scouting at all, she's taking a huge risk right now, but she'll be fine. But yeah, you can do a no-wall strategy like this against Zerg. It is fine. It's just a little, like, your micro has to be crazy good if they go for anything really aggressive. Thing is, she's actually chrono boosting Warp Gate and a Stalker right now, rather than building up funds for a Nexus here. So I think we may actually be seeing some one-base shenaniganry potentially here. Wait, nope. She's saving up the minerals. Are we seeing a probe go out? We're over 400 minerals, Leand. Leand, what are you going to do? We're over 500 minerals now, so if you're going to 4-gate, you got to throw those gateways down. Well, we'll come back. We'll come back when we see something on the production tab. In the meantime, what's going on in the Zerg space? Nothing unusual at all. Just macroing up, getting queens, getting drones. There's a Overlord over here who should see the complete lack of a Nexus and be like, something's wrong. There should be a Nexus there. Wait, no. Okay, good. She did see it. I was going to say, I'm like, that Overlord went out of vision just at the last second. That's really unfortunate. The good news for Ottr, though, is actually she saw that, and I don't think Leanne actually knows that the Overlord saw that at all. Okay, wow. This is some pretty high-level stuff for people who don't play very much. Basically, what we're seeing now is Leanne's pushing out with the Stalker, Zealot, and a Mothership Core to try and do some early damage here. This can be pretty good. It'll probably get at least the Queen. Unfortunately, if they attack that separated, they're probably not going to do anything. But, okay, second Queen's out. And is she going to push forward to check for a third? Or just go back home? That's fine, too. If you don't see a third... well, never mind. Guess she's not going to do anything with it. But better nothing lost than nothing gained and everything lost. It's a good motto for most Protosses. So we're going down to Robotech here. Ooh, Spire. And here's the thing. A lot of the time, I mean, if I say person's opening Robo and the other guy's opening Spire, they're going to get some mutas. The person who's going Robo would have a lot of things that they could do to deal with that. They could go in with a Blink, get a lot of Stalkers, hold them off, grab a few cannons, and then go for a timing attack. That's always a possibility. They could go for any other timing attack that hits before the mutas come out. The thing is, in games of this level, what tends to happen is the Mutalisks are able to just kind of be everywhere that the Protoss army isn't. And then you get that really, really awesome StarCrafts episode that they made a while ago where the Archon was running back and forth between two bases and just wasn't there every time the Mutas were. Yeah, that's basically what happens to most Protosses in this situation. So, personally, looking at the setups right now, I have to actually give the edge to Ottr. I think that there's a good chance she probably takes this unless she makes a huge error with her muta control. That's really what it's going to come down to. That, or I'm not giving Leon Seed enough credit, and she's actually really good at dealing with this. We'll see. In any case, this build is somewhat more classically oriented. I think this looks kind of like the fast Colossus build that a lot of players used to use in Wings of Liberty. See the double upgrades getting set up here. We should see a... I mean, none of this is optimized, obviously, but the next thing that completes this shape is the I wanted to say Colossus Bay, Colossus Den, and then I realized it was Robotics Bay, and yeah, not gonna see that though. It just looks like an observer, probably for scouting purposes, and his overlord's just gonna nonchalantly wander over and be like, "Hey, oh cool, you got gases, okay, and you got a Nexus, and there's probes there. Maybe even seen this forge." But the army pretty much doesn't have any threatening tech in it right now. Just a few Zealots, a couple Stalkers, and a Sentry. So a big Zealot Sentry attack that hits at about this time is actually very, very strong against mutas. Individually, the Sentries are actually ridiculously good against the Mutalisks, and that only continues until you get to a certain number of mutas, and then you just kind of run the Sentries over. But the small numbers, it's very, very effective. For the meantime, however, seems Otter's just content to hang back with her Mutalisks. She's not going to try and push out against the Protoss right now, which in its own way may actually work out. I mean, normally you'd want to get in there and start getting the damage done as soon as you can, but I think Leanne suspects what's going on. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. Stalker, 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 Stalker. All hanging out in the back of the base here. Wonder what that's for. This army here is actually going to be somewhat vulnerable to the Mutalisks themselves, though. The Mothership Core also could potentially get sniped. So, here's the thing. Mutaballs, when they're below about 30 to 40 in number, they're not usually set up in the best position to actually run an army over that doesn't have the appropriate things to deal with it. Obviously, if it's got a lot of Phoenixes, it's not going to be a thing. But Overseer flew in, might have seen the edge of those flappy wings. The question was, did Leanne notice? Doesn't look like it. The army isn't moving. The Mothership Core is still stationed off at the far left. This ball of Mutalisks is now up to 7, so it doesn't really want to engage the Stalkers if it can help it. The Stalkers are moving away! The army's leaving the base! Oh no! This is actually one of the worst potential situations for Leanne, where she begins to move out into the map. Ottr needs to hit right now, though, because if this army gets to her base, then this turns into a crazy base race scenario where the Protoss just has the ability to kill more stuff faster. Nope, here comes some more Mutalisks. Looks like she's going to wait for those to engage. Are these guys going to... The Pylon's going to see it? No, Pylons don't have that good of vision. And here comes the army from Leanne. It's going to move in. It's moving across the creep, but it looks like Otter's response is to actually just go and attack the army itself. She's going to actually pick up on this Colossus right in the middle of the map, which is actually amazing, and by itself would almost be enough. Mutalisks right there actually going to engage. Separated, though. That's never a good place to be. No Guardian Shield going up. It's going to try and focus down the Colossus, but there's no Grind Army with this, so I'd say don't even bother with that. Get rid of that. Get rid of the Sentry and try to focus everything else. And it's going to get rid of the Mothership Core, which means this army cannot go home. If all this stuff dies out here, that's the end of that. Unfortunately, neither player is actually macroing at the moment, so the Zerg, I think, could hold this off, but there was nothing being built in the back of that. A lot of Zerglings right now would be really handy, but they're just not coming out. 4 more Mutalisks come out, do snipe off a Stalker and an Immortal. Does lose 1 more Muta, But it's going to back out and get away. And let's see what Leon's going to do. Looks like Leon's just going to push for it. And I'd say that this is actually a great choice in this situation, having killed so many Mutalisks. And again, just from the fact that more macroing hasn't really been done in the back of this by Ottr. The Mutalisks are just trying to straight engage the Stalkers here, and it isn't really working. 7 more Mutas are actually going to come out on top. This needs to pull those drones to have any hope of surviving the situation, but I don't think, yeah, I mean, I think even in that situation it would be a little bit too much. So Leon takes both games. Nice.